Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is lesson 2-4 for course 2 for my 4th period class. Our topic for today is comparing and ordering fractions, and that's basically what our objective is as well. Just a quick let's start with our vocabulary. A least common denominator, abbreviated LCD most often, of two or more fractions is the least common multiple, LCM, of their denominators. Okay, so again, remember LCM is least common multiple. We find multiples by skip counting, as you'll recall. Okay, so we'll use these when we're trying to compare and order fractions. Okay, so let's get into looking at some examples here. If we want to compare 7/12 and 5/9, the denominators are 12 and 9. Their least common multiple is 36, so 36 is going to be their least common denominator. So least common multiple and least common denominator, when we're trying to do when we're writing equivalent fractions or renaming fractions, are basically the same thing. They are the same thing. It's just this one happens to be located in a denominator rather than just a regular number floating around. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll use 36 as our least common denominator. So I'm going to write the 36 here because this is where we'll do the conversions. And so 12 times 3 is 36. If I multiply the denominator by 36, because that's the one I have to change, then I have to treat the top number exactly the same way. 7 times 3 is 21. Okay. Similarly, 9 times 4 is 36, so 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, now that I have them over common denominators, I've converted these so that I would have cut whatever I started out with into the same sized pieces. So I can compare 21 over 36 is greater than 20 out of 36. Okay, and I just have to compare the numerators, because once I have a common denominator, I just have to look at the numerators. So 21 over 36 matches the fraction 7/12. So that tells me 7/12 is greater than 5/9. And I do want to give my final answer with the numbers that I started out with in the question. Okay, so that you can show that you understand these two are equivalent fractions for the ones that you were given. Once you have that, you can make your comparison with the two numbers that started out in the problem. Okay, at this point, here's a quick check. You may either pause at this point or wait till the end of taking notes and come back and do this later. I'm going to move on to the next example. So you'll need to turn your page. And this is a multiple choice question. Oops. Okay, I'm getting a lot of darkness here. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit lighter, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be successful. Okay, Giselda wants to paint her room. She found 3/5 gallon of yellow paint, 2/3 gallon of blue paint, and 1/2 gallon of green paint. Which list shows fractions and orders from least to greatest? And you have 4 choices here, A, B, C, D, which is a little off screen here because it's way over. Okay, so rather than trying to guess, I'm actually going to work out the problem. So we want to put these in order from least to greatest. So you want to be sure that you put it in the correct order when you finish. I'm looking for the least common multiple of 5, 3, and 2. So when I skip count by 5s, then by 3s, and then by 2s, the least common multiple is going to be 30. So 30 is my least common denominator. This is the denominator that I want to use. Okay, so the authors have already gone through our first example for us. 3/5, I'm going to, in order to get a denominator of 30, I would need to multiply by 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. So 18/30. I'm just going to fill in my denominators here so I don't have to worry about that. What do I do to get 3 to become 30? 3 times 10 is 30, so I multiply 2 times 10 to get 20. Remember, I'm starting with the denominator because that's the number I have to match so that I'll have the common denominator. So it's the one that determines how I actually do my conversion here. 2 times 15 is 30, so 1 times 15 is 15. Okay? At this point, you can just compare numerators. You might not always want to go through quite such an elaborate writing this out because you can probably, you can probably do some of it in your head, but I'll fill it in here. Okay, so we want the least number here. So our numerators are 18, 20, and 15. So 15/30 is going to be the least. Next would be 18/30, and then last would be 20/30. Okay, so 1/2 of a gallon, 15/30, is less than 3/5 of a gallon, which is the 18/30, which is less than 2/3 of a gallon. Okay, so I compare my numerators on my fractions that I converted, and then I want to put the original numbers back in their order, or back in the appropriate order. So the order is 1/2, 3/5, and 2/3 in order from least to greatest. So the correct answer choice here is C. Okay, you have a second quick check question here, so if you want to go ahead and complete these so that you have them ready next time we're in class together, that would be great. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.